Hello, everybody. And it is Monday, April 10th, 2006. I know a lot of you have been looking forward to these broadcasts, and so I haven't really spent a lot of time on them. I kind of just wait until Monday and see what the Lord leads me to say. You know, today I wanted to go over the terror list I have because so many people talking about coming explosion at the Capitol building. And I talked about it at my blogger, SherryShriner.blogspot.com, because what makes this interesting is that True News that carried the broadcast about it came out with some information that last Monday the Capitol building had an evacuation. The power had been shut off, had gone out, and so they had evacuated the Capitol building. And the news had completely blacked it out. They didn't even talk about it. Just a total news blackout on the power outage and evacuation that took place there. And what this means is the reason it's so significant is because the Saturday before the Monday that the WTC buildings were imploded, it's completely exploded by bombs, and then they tried to pull off the fact that airplanes had hit it to create an illusion that terrorists were the ones who took down the WTC buildings. And of course, you know it's a lie, it's a facade. Building number 7 was right off to it. Building number 7 imploded as well, and it wasn't even hit by an airplane. And the degree of heat from the fires caused by the airplanes wasn't even near enough to melt steel. And so it was a complete lie. And if you look at everything else, how the implosion itself caused the buildings to come down, the fact that witnesses heard bombs going off, the fact that there was fires before the plane even hit, just all kinds of things that have come out. People call it a conspiracy, and a conspiracy is only questions surrounding an event that have never been answered. And so what do you do when you prove a conspiracy true? What do you call it then? This is the facts. The WTC was taken down by bombs. It was not taken down by planes. And shortly before that Monday, on a Saturday, for 24 hours, the electric had been shut off. And this from eyewitness who had been working in the building itself on that Saturday. And he states how the electric had been shut off for quite a while, maybe till Sunday, I think it was. And so what this has to do with the Capitol building is interesting because here we have an electrical outage on Monday. The public utility workers who went in to find out what was going on, stating that there was a lot of people, men in overalls, that they didn't know who they were. They'd never seen them before. They were strangers, that were all over the inside tunnels underneath the Capitol. And at the same time, the Capitol Police were forbidden to go into the tunnels. So that could be significant. What I like about it, the whole thing, is it's not somebody trumping up an elf god date of an event happening. He's not saying, I saw a vision with the numbers 4:15, 16, 14, whatever. He's not stating up the numbers like the elf god does. He's just stating some cold hard facts. Look, this is a similarity. The WTC lost electric a few days before it was imploded and exploded and bombed down. And now we've got something similar happening over at the Capitol building. And so it raises your eyebrow. It's something you want to keep an eye on. I really don't know if the Capitol building is going to explode anytime soon. Now, I have stated on my website at hiddencodes.com, I saw Capitol building exploding, being hit by a bomb or some kind of bombs going off inside of it, in the codes years ago. And I started warning back in 2003, 2004. I've left the code on the site. I've never even taken it down because it could happen any year. We don't know what year things are going to happen in. We can give you dominant months. I can find dominant months in codes. And the dominant months for the Capitol exploding was May, June, and July, if I remember right. And so that doesn't mean they can't be accelerated. You'll see the term accelerated with events quite a bit. You'll see delayed, you'll see canceled. So all I could do is give you a general idea. I had always seen it the most dominant for like the first week of July. But Congress wouldn't even be in session then, so what kind of fun would that be for President Bush and all his little satanic freaks and conspiring buddies to blow up the Capitol when nobody's there? They're Satanists. They like to see suffering and loss of death, or loss of life. They like to see death. They like to see pain and suffering. And so it could happen either way. They could wait till Congress is full. They're all meeting in session. There's a huge immigration bill coming up where a lot of them will be there. They could actually wait until it's completely full and then blow the place up. Or, like I said, hit it when it's gone and just destroy the building. Their main agenda right now is to get rid of Congress because it works with the NESARA plan. And I'm going to go back to that a little bit. Some of you have been following and listening to me for 2 years now. Back when I was doing the radio show on Reality Radio Network, I spent a lot of time talking about NESARA and the plans of the Omegans, and what that is the New Age alien agenda faction of the New World Order. It's not really the New World Order, but it's a different faction to take over the world for the Antichrist. And Al Gore heads that up, and he's one of the main power players over there. And just something really disgusted me this week was Al Gore. I saw a picture of Al Gore doing some kind of presentation. He owns a cable network or cable television station out in Canada now. Probably using it for practice, because what happens is when NESARA takes over, they're going to spend days just bringing on speakers one after the other explaining how this new economic system is going to come into place. And what happens is, in order for this to take place, they need to get rid of Congress. They've got too many politicians when you want the real power in the hands of one person or very few people around him. So they've got to get rid of Congress, and of course an easy way to do that is blow up the building, call it a terrorist attack, and they've already got bills in place that would, I think it's continuityofgovernment.org, website mentioned by that TrueNews.com, where they plan on a continuation of government if something were to happen to Congress. So you see, they're already planning this. And interesting, it comes out in 2006, because I saw this back in 2003 in the Bible codes. And so what they would do is that if something happens to the Capitol, congressmen were killed or missing or whatever, they would hold re-elections in the states that would take several months, at least 4 months, they say, for the states to re-elect congressmen and send them where, I don't know, because the Capitol would be burned or bombed at that time. Maybe they would designate a whole new idea. But the thing is they don't plan on doing it at all. I mean, they have this continuity of government, the plans set in place to re-elect officials, but the plans in NESARA is to never even have Congress re-elected and reconvened ever again. Once it's gone permanently. Another thing you'll hear is that if the president was killed or vice president or NESARA takes over, their biggest thing was to have Dick Cheney and George Bush arrested, held for war crimes, held for treason, held for all kinds of things. Lord knows they're guilty of everything. You can just pick something. And have them arrested and sent to prison, or not even sent to prison, but killed for treason, because that is the standard punishment for treason. Not that we've ever practiced it here in this country, but one of NESARA's biggest gimmicks is to restore full constitutional law to this country. And so to do that, the punishment for treason would be death. And so the victims of NESARA's agenda, the first two ultimate victims besides our entire country, would be George Bush and Dick Cheney. And what they want to do is just pretty much destroy the entire government establishment that we have in America now and institute their own. Bring in NESARA with these New Age alien freaks, these Anunnaki. They call themselves the Omegans, refer to themselves as White Knights. And what the Omegans means is the Lord's last days armies. And they're not talking about the Most High God, Jehovah Lord. They're talking about their Lord Satan. They're his armies, the Omegans. So just some terminology that the New Age and alien agenda uses. And what would happen is that, Congress is destroyed, and George Bush and Dick Cheney would be put on trial. And, of course, in the interim, a replacement would be made to take over rule, and that would be Al Gore, who was so, robbed of the election